Hello, this specific section is for Baz Luhrman. I think that I would be the perfect person to play Joan of Arc because I think my facial structure looks very much similar to her. I have kind of a low resonance and I can I can actually like move my body pretty well. I feel like I would do a pretty good job. I could even be my own stunt double. I also feel like I'm really easy to work with. And because I'm a Capricorn, um, I'm dedicated and loyal, so I would do everything that I could to make this role great. I would even do what Heath Ledger did with the Joker just so that I could do a good job. So that just goes to show some of my references. And oop, I played Snoopy in a children's theater version of Charlie Brown's Christmas. So if someone understands the gray nature of reality, it would be me. No, I'm not going to pretend. You know how people pretend to do wacky shit for a video? That's not when it's going to happen here. Okay. Hi, it's me, City. Welcome to the City Taylor Show. I was going to approach this podcast style, but I've decided to just talk about something I was actually passionate to talk about earlier today instead of what I thought I was going to talk about. And drop a like down below and a comment if you've ever felt that way. Going into something you had one intention, and then you realize that, no, I don't want to do that. Today, I wanted to talk about some of my dream roles and like just styles that I want for my career. I started my social media page mostly because I wanted to express myself, but now I'm realizing that if I'm not recognizing my unique gifts and sharing them, then how am I going to express myself in the life I want to live by just posting pictures of myself on social media? So now here we are. And if you're watching this, you might feel the same way. You might be interested in what I'm doing. You might even think that I'm hot. And thank you. Just don't forget to PayPal me. So first off, I wanted to say one of my dream roles that I've always wanted is I've always wanted to be a final girl. I've always imagined the power of the feminine being expressed in so much of like one of the lowest vibrational forms of television and movies, but it's actually like one of the most interestingly written horror movies. Horror movies remind me of just like all of the anxieties that we have about life. Like you think that there's a monster hiding in your cabinet, or also there's like an anthropomorphic creature that's like hiding above you in the trees watching you. I've always found that idea very interesting, even though it is not very great for your body. I've always wanted to be a part of it because I've always wanted to do a really good horror scream. And a lot of my nature has been centered around like being like the final like Katniss Everdeen in life. That probably stems from just like being very competitive. I want to trace back my lineage in this life. I'm a Capricorn. So who obviously I would want to monetize and create a career out of my social media. I'm like theoretically made of money because Capricorns are supposed to be like the business entrepreneurs of the zodiacs. And thank you very much. We also represent the knees. So pretty good stability for the upper body. So you could call the Capricorns too, like the leaders of Earth, like the kings and queens of society. But that's not to say that other signs can't be leaders. I don't even know what our president's sign is. I think Donald Trump is a Gemini. I actually would love to Google that, and I'll probably paste that right here, what Donald Trump's sign is, but I'm not going to say anything more about him because that guy deserves to be a drag queen, not our president. And if you could even just accept that for one moment, like, yeah, our president's better off as a drag queen, then watching the political sphere may be a little bit more lighthearted from now on. Because especially now we're seeing people dive into AI deepfake cults of spirituality through it too, which I've always found super interesting. I even followed a girl who liked Grimes a lot, was like, I guess in Grimes' friends, and she's like starting an AI like Discord cult group chat. So it goes to show that you can be anything. So I think I'm more than likely able to be a final girl in a movie. I would love to be like a girl in Don't Worry Darling. I would love to be the main character in that, especially because this isn't my full life, but I've totally been the woman in the room that is the only person right about something, but everybody else thinks that she's crazy, which just goes to show women's intuition. But especially as a trans woman, when your intuition's on point, people look at you and they think, aren't you going to get surgery soon? As opposed to listening about what we think. Even though historically and spiritually trans women represent divine archetypes that are very much hidden right now. But thankfully, that is coming back, especially now that I'm on the prowl. I'm going to be changing that narrative. So that's one of my goals. Subscribe if that made you interested in my work. Another role that I've always wanted to play is Brooke. Brooke from Waitress. I've always loved those high up country girls, and that's also been one of my favorite songs to sing. I sang that song when I was in singing like a vocal coaching, like singing coaching. I stick with real things, usually facts and figures, when information's so another dream role of mine is that the reason I'm posting this, they are filming a Joan of Arc movie in the next few years, and I wanted to make this video and I wanted to call him out personally. Hello, this specific section is for Baz Luhrman. I think that I would be the perfect person to play Joan of Arc because I think my facial structure looks very much similar to her. I have kind of a low resonance, and I can actually like move my body pretty well. I feel like I would do a pretty good job. I could even be my own stunt double. I also feel like I'm really easy to work with, and because I'm a Capricorn, I'm hard, I'm dedicated and loyal, so I would do everything that I could to make this role great. I would even do what Heath Ledger did with the Joker just so that I could do a good job. So that just goes to show some of my references. And I played Snoopy in a children's theater version of Charlie Brown's Christmas. So if someone understands the gray nature of reality, it would be me. Another character I've always wanted to play is Red Heather from Mean Girls. I think that I've always wanted, so I could either play her or I could play Green Heather. I don't think I fit the archetype of Yellow Heather, considering that she's usually really tall. And also, even though I think I'm by nature a blonde, I don't know, maybe I could play Yellow Heather. So let's give it up for all three Heathers. I think the obvious choice for me, though, from a casting perspective, is Veronica, considering my lax demeanor, dark features, and I sing more of a mezzo soprano. I like singing like her. Brett Wilbert Weed. I thought it was different. So yeah, I'd love to play a character from Heathers. And if I wanted to play as someone from their life, I would like to. So, and then if we're talking about just like documentaries, so yeah, Joan of Arc, I already mentioned. Baz Luhrman, I'm sending you a personal video to your email. I'm gonna send it to Warner Brothers because I want to audition for this, and I want to do it like Tracy Turnblad style, where Joan of Arc is played by someone who's not very well known. And then I would also like to play Stevie Nicks. I think that I look just like her from when she was a little kid. And wait, no one. I could get it right. I could play her down. I've always been the metaphysical, esoteric bitch from down the street. And nobody's ever found out my magic secret. So it's like, you just don't share that, I guess. I think another role I've always been born to play, and I'll take you back to my old theater director. I won't say her name here or where I was from. I almost did say it earlier. I've been told that I would play a really good villain. So I think that if I was going to play a specific villain, like play Rita Repulsa in a Power Rangers reboot, if there's anyone that I would want to play as a villain, it would be her. And I would also probably be really good at playing a pink Power Ranger, represent for the trans girls on a children's TV show. That would be awesome. It would have made my life a whole lot easier if Kimberly was a transgender woman. That would have been really awesome. So yeah, these are some of my dream roles, and also a message to Baz Luhrman. And then yeah, this is me coming out as me, City Taylor. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Again, leave a comment down below what you think of everything. And don't forget to like this video. Maybe if you have an alternative opinion about me, be sure to leave it down below. Okay.